This is E, True Hollywood Story. We're now going into the depth that the Great Depression the Beatles experienced. After Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, they eventually ran out of music ideas.
They just ran out of ideas and gave up. I thought they just ran out of LSD, but even with it, they just made farm animal noises. After Sgt. Pepper, they thought they were set for life. But the fans, they wanted more and more. They fed off their music like a fat lady feeds off IHOP pancake specials. And let me just tell you, they were hungry for more every day. John and Paul just couldn't take the stress. They wrote and wrote and wrote, day by day, hour by hour, and they just ended up coming up with either nursery rhymes or filthy music that I don't have the decency to sing.
1, 2, 1, 2. Go on out.
They were so desperate, they even let Ringo take a stab at a song. No. I'm just kidding. It wasn't that serious.
Hey, Paul, I actually wrote a little ditty overnight.
Well, alright then, Ringo. Let's take a gander at it, shall we? No, get that out of my face. Have you gone mad? What have you?
No, I mean, I don't see what's wrong with it, Paul.
You don't see what's wrong with it. It's a song about toilet water. Did I just hear that right, mate? You sure did, George. Toilet water. Ringo, you're such a dumb.
They were so devastated that they couldn't come up with one idea, not one. They started breaking down and going insane. They were literally hallucinating without LSD. The fans reacted worse, oh man, especially the girls. It was devastating, and it was considered a depression.
In 1967, over 200 suicides were committed. Most of the victims had a note attached to their shirts. Some read, "Dear Beatles, I hope you're happy now. John and Paul pushed me off this building, with their minds. People not invited to my funeral, the Beatles, especially Ringo. Have the Beatles lost their way?" More coming up after the commercial break.
Get your skis shined up, grab a stick of juicy fruit. The taste is gonna move ya. Take a sniff, pull it out. The taste is gonna move ya when you pop it in your mouth. Juicy fruit is gonna move ya. It juices soft, it gets right to ya. Juicy fruit, the taste is gonna move ya.
And we're back with E Hollywood True Story, the Beatles.
Yes, it's true. We were caught up in a little pickle. That's until the glorious night I spotted the midnight raven. I was gazing upon the moonlight, pondering deeply as to what has become of me. I was so close to giving up, until I spotted a majestic baby raven upon a twisted tree. She was just a wee little birdie who couldn't fly yet. The way I saw it, she represented one thing or another: hope or loss of hope. If she were to break free from the evil spiny tree that kept her from the world and fly out like the beautiful creature she was, I knew there was still hope. If she were to jump and foolishly not flap her wings, fall 50 feet to the ground, severely killing her, most likely snapping her neck in half, I knew there was no hope left. Just the thought of watching that pretty little thing fall to its death really scared the living tea and crumpets out of me, so I knew what I had to do. I had to get on that little tree of him and help that little fella out.
Yeah, Paul was wicked high that night.
So I jumped out of my window onto the tree, and I tried to get a hold of it. I taught it to flap its wings gently. And the next thing I know, George, John, and are at the window in their gowns, calling out my name to get down from the tree. But I knew what I had to do. I had to finish what I started.
He was also drunk.
So I took the raven and released it into the dark night, and it flew away gloriously.
He chucked a dead squirrel at us that he found.
And at that moment I knew there was hope.
It wasn't a tree, it was a flagpole.
All of a sudden, my lips began tingling, and there it was. I was singing our next song, Blackbird. I found what we were looking for, and I don't care how many times we recorded it later on. The first time I sang it upon the tree, it was the most richest and most beautiful version I've ever sang it, and I'll never forget it.
He was yelling out rubbish!
Paul, for heaven's sakes, get down from there!
Take a floppy wings.
Paul, you're gonna kill yourself! Bloody hell, it's 2 o'clock in the morning!
To the dark of the dark, dark, dark.
Paul, I wrote another song. It's about an octopus.
Hello, little girl. Hello, little girl. When I see you every day, I say, hello,